Hi everyone, my name is Rachel and welcome to the French Seams. Thanks very much for joining me for this week's Friday Sews, where I talk about what I have been sewing, what I plan on sewing and a little bit of life as well. So as always, a huge thank you to Jen from Today and Jen Sewingham who came up with this wonderful hashtag. So thank you very much for coming back for another video. I hope you're all well, and as always a huge thank you to everybody who's watched any of my previous videos, anybody who's left a like, left a comment. I really do appreciate it, so thank you very, very much. So I've had a good week here in the French Seams household. You'll notice that I'm wearing a brand new make, so I'll talk about that in a minute. But if we scroll back to last week, I was talking about a very exciting weekend that I was going to be having up at the Crafty studio. So the lovely Anne-Marie from the Crafty studio, if you're not familiar with her shop online and bricks and mortar, I'll link everything below. She organised the most fabulous afternoon tea frocktails. So you'll have heard me mention frocktails an awful lot on this channel, but this was slightly different. It was a daytime one, it was afternoon tea, and it was on a vintage bus, and it was just so much fun. So I wore my Barbie Betty dress, which I absolutely loved. I actually wore it to work the next day. I loved it that much. So we all met up in Anne-Marie's shop, had a little cheeky glass of something nice, and then had a lovely chats with everybody who was there. So I knew some people, I didn't know other people, but it was great just to all get together and chat all things sewing. Obviously, you know, you do the thing of like checking everybody's dress or what they're wearing or looking at the lining. It's great. The only place it's socially acceptable to do that. So then we got on the bus, which is this really cool renovated vintage bus, and there was the most beautiful afternoon tea. I'll pop in a picture of it here. It was absolutely delicious, and then halfway through they came around with warm scones and everything. Oh, it was absolutely delicious. And we did a little tour about Dublin. Some of us were local, some weren't local, so it was nice to kind of hear some stories about Dublin. I love being a tourist in my own city. And we did a few little catwalks, so they weren't actually outside the bus, the catwalks were inside the bus, which was great fun. So you got up out of your seat, walked to the end of your level, as it were. I was downstairs, then I had to walk upstairs and walk across the top of the bus. It was great fun. And Anne-Marie read out what everybody is wearing and where they got their fabric and everything, and everybody looked amazing. Whether they were wearing one top because they had never sewed before, or whether they were wearing a full-on ensemble, everybody looked amazing. Everybody was really excited to be there. Everybody was just in high spirits. It was just such a lovely time to spend with some really lovely people. So then we moseyed our way back to the Crafty studio, and there we all made some cheeky purchases in Anne-Marie's shop and had some more chats, and I was home by 5 o'clock. It was amazing. My husband couldn't believe it when I came in, and I was home in time for dinner. It was just great. It was such a nice day. So a massive thank you to Anne-Marie for organising it, and I'll link the vintage bus below as well. Great. If you're about Dublin, I would highly recommend it. It was just really good fun, and it was lovely to catch up with people who I hadn't seen in a few months, and also to meet some new people who I'd met online but never met in real life. So it was always lovely to meet those kind of people as well, and to spend the afternoon chatting with sewing people is just an afternoon well spent in my books. And our thoughts have now turned to the knitting and stitching show in Belfast, which is our next kind of meetup. So if you are thinking of going to the knitting and stitching show in Belfast, please drop me a message below. I would love to hear who's about. Super excited. It's not till November, but anyway. So did I buy anything while I was there? Well, I'll show you that later. Huge. No, it wasn't. I will show you all that later. So that was our fabulous weekend. The rest of the week was just taken up with working. Mr. French Seams was travelling, so I got a little bit of sewing done like I always do. What else? I also had a lovely chat with my lovely friend Sam Sola Sparkle. We had a little chat during the week as well, which is lovely. She's just wonderful. I'll link her channel below as well if you don't follow her, which I'm sure you do, but it's lovely to catch up with her as well. Sewing people really are the best people. So what else did I get up to? So I was on Instagram, and I think they see me coming. They really do. So this little advert popped up for Craftsy, and it said, oh, it's time to make all things pumpkin. Now, if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you know that I fall into rabbit holes every now and then, especially autumnal rabbit holes. Cast your minds back to the great crocheted pumpkins of 2023, where I made about 1 billion crocheted pumpkins. I'll pop in a picture of them here. I've just taken them all out, ready for autumn this year. My house is now fully decorated with autumn. So during the week, this popped up saying make all things pumpkin. So I had a quick look, and I found this little kind of quilt block for a pumpkin. I thought, well, that looks quite cute. Then I realised it was foundation paper piecing. I've never done foundation paper piecing quilting before, so obviously I watched one YouTube video and clearly I was then an expert. So I decided one evening to make a little foundation paper pieced pumpkin, and here it is. Super proud of it. Utterly adorable. The fabric a few months ago, the lovely Breda gave me a bag of all different types of fabrics, so I was able to use these. They came in, I think they're 10-inch squares, which are perfect for this because I was able to back the whole thing with this. I was able to use it for the binding, so I was able to use all this fabric, and I love it. Look how cute this little pumpkin is. So this is all foundation paper pieced, where you literally print off the shapes and fold and piece and sew through paper, which is really weird, and then peel it all off and then put it together. So I put a little bit of batting in between, and then I just put orange at the back, and I just quilted my squiggles, my signature squiggles I'll call them, and then I just cut out a bit of binding and bound it in orange, and I am so happy with this. So I'm sure you'll see many more of these in my future. So I'm using this as a little kind of table decoration, a little coaster, a little mug rug. So yeah, very, very happy. So I've now got some recommendations for some foundation paper piecing websites. Oh lordy, if you need me, I will be foundation paper piecing basically. I'll link one of them below. Absolutely fabulous. So this was my little crochet pumpkin. So my house is now fully autumnal and I am loving it. So what else did I get made up this week? What I'm wearing. So this is the most beautiful Indian block print from Rainbow Fabrics. So if you're not aware, I'm a brand ambassador for them. So I'll pop in my code across here. It's Rachel !VIP, Rachel spelled RACHAEL. That usually gives you 20% off. However, until the 15th, they have a 50% off all their fabrics. So be sure to check them out. They have some fabulous, fabulous fabrics. So I was lucky enough to receive this recently. I'd never worked with Indian block print fabric before. I didn't quite know what to expect, and it is just gorgeous. So it washed really well. I was terrified putting it in the washing machine. I wash all my my clothes at 30 degrees very gently, so always perfect. I didn't need to overlock any of the edges. It didn't fray. It ironed beautifully. Oh, that's why I was delighted, because I was quite concerned about using this fabric for the first time, but I needn't have worried. Absolutely beautiful. So I wanted to make a fleur blouse. So I've made 2 fleur dresses. So this is the Fabric Godmother fleur dress. I've made a sleeveless dress and I've made a sleeve dress, and I absolutely love it. And I was keen to make a top. So I wanted to make the peplum top. So because this is cotton, it's quite narrow, so I was quite concerned that I wouldn't have enough. But basically I cut out the bodice, and then I literally used everything that was left for the peplum. I didn't even, because I hadn't printed out the peplum pattern piece before that, but I'd literally just cut the skirt pattern and just see how I got on with the remaining fabric, and it worked out beautifully. So it's got the little ties. I did the big sleeves. I'm very much getting into big sleeve energy, but that's okay. The because I made the B cup, I make a size 10, I think, which is smaller than my measurements, so I do size down. It comes out quite big. So because I make the B cup in the sleeved bodice, I don't need to do bust darts, which is always a win. On the sleeveless bodice for the B cup, you do need to do bust darts. So got the little ties, the beautiful placket on the inside to cover your modesty, and then I've got my little peplum. Am I wearing the toile of my jeans? Yes, of course. So here are my lovely new jeans, and if I step back, so here's the little peplum. Really, really cute. I think it's just really sweet, and it just opens like this, and I've got a little t-shirt under it because it's a little bit chilly, but I think I can wear one of my thermal vests under this, which means I'll get an awful lot more wear out of it into the autumn. Because it's quite lightweight, I can pop a cardigan over it, and yeah, because it's high necked, I think you can just wear a little t-shirt underneath to keep warm. So very, very happy with this make. It's such a beautiful make. I love the fleur blouse and the fleur dress. These will not be my last, and it's quite, because you have to do a lot of pressing on the ties and a lot of gathering on the sleeves and stuff, it's quite, I wouldn't say it's an involved make, but there's a lot of sewing in it, but I think the result is really cute, and I love the little the cuff here and everything. So yeah, love this. I did have a bit of a debate with my sewing buddies about which way to put the flowers, so I put them facing up, so I hope that's the right way around. At least it was consistent whether or not it's right or wrong. So that's what I got sewed up this week. What else did I want to show you? So yes, so I was very, very lucky to have received an advance copy of the very lovely Adam from Adam Sews new pattern. So he released this last week on his Friday Sews. I'll link it below. You know I love Adam's patterns. I've made a load of his. I've made his hipster pouch, I've made his lunar crossbody bag, I've made his trio of pouches, and now he's got a tote bag, and it's called Totally Amazing Tote, and it is fabulous. So I made this up a couple of weeks ago, I think, and then it was launched last week. So I also brought this to Vintage Frocktails, and it matched my pink dress perfectly. So this is my tote bag. So I got all of this out of, I think, about 5 fat quarters. So you can see there is a seam at the bottom, and I just joined fat quarters together because I was really keen to do it in pink. So it's fully quilted, fully bound, lovely straps here. So I have webbing inside this, but I wanted to cover my webbing. So it means if you have any different colour webbing knocking around, you can cover them. There's instructions for that. Then the inside, it's fully bound on the inside, so there's no raw edges. And then the best bit of this is his floating pocket detail. So this is an optional extra you can do on the inside, and it's a little floating pocket, a little zipped pocket on the inside, which is really handy because the bag is open. You've still got that security of the zip. So here's the bag. I just decided to do panels on these just because, again, fat quarters, but usually you could do it in whatever fabric you like. And yeah, here it is. It's brilliant. I've been using it so often. It fits my laptop. Everything is just great. I've topped in, I have a little pink label from Kylie the Machine that says make, so I thought that was really cute. But yes, this is his totally amazing tote. So I'll link to this below along with all his other patterns. Really, really great. Really enjoyed making it. It is fully bound and all on the inside as well with a boxed out bottom, but of course there's full instructions on how to do that as well. And as I say, you can get this out of fat quarters, which is brilliant. And signature squiggles once again. So yes, loved making this. I'm really glad now I can show you all it. Show it all to you. Show it to you all. Wow. Okay, moving on. What else would I like to talk to you about? So there is a challenge going on Instagram at the minute, hosted by the lovely Whitney from Tomcat Stitchery. So I couldn't take part in this vlogger tour, sadly. I had to decline because it's all about precious fabric. And as you know, I don't have a fabric stash. I don't have any precious fabric. So I do have, all my fabric is precious, but I don't have that one piece in my stash that I haven't been sewing because I'm very much, I get fabric and then I sew it and I get more fabric and then I sew it. It's a bit of a kind of a wheel. So I don't have stuff lingering in my stash for any length of time. But I would just like to highlight this challenge because I think it's really, really fun. And I've been loving watching everybody's videos so far about people's precious fabric, whether it's precious because of cost, whether it's precious because of a sentimental meaning to you, whether it's precious because you only have a small amount of it. Precious means so many things to different people. So, and I have precious fabric because somebody gave it to me or it reminds me of a time or I bought it somewhere. So, but I just wanted to show you precious fabric that I have in my wardrobe. So my grandmother went to a tweed mill, I think, in about the 50s, and bought this beautiful tweed, and then it came from my grandmother to my aunt, to my other aunt, to my mum, to me, and it was sitting in, to be fair, back in the day it was sitting in my stash for a long amount of time, babies and COVID and everything, and finally I said I am going to use this fabric. So 2 years ago, I think I made up this fabric into a heather blazer. So you might remember if you've been watching my channel for a while. So it's this beautiful tweed fabric. I absolutely love it. And I really wanted to do it justice. So I had about 2 meters, which is great for the heather blazer. And then I lined it in this beautiful green Cupro from the Crafty studio. So, and I was able to make a heather blazer, and it now is a very precious make. What once was precious fabric is now a precious make to me because I love this heather blazer. It's at the perfect time now because I've literally just got it out of the wardrobe again to wear during autumn because I love wearing it with jeans, with a hoodie. I think it looks really, really smart. So this was definitely precious fabric to me, and it's now a precious make to me because, yeah, it's so old. But I'm just really glad the way the heather blazer worked out. It's a fabulous pattern. I would recommend it to anybody. It's such a good pattern, and there's brilliant instructions and there's sew-alongs, everything, and it's a fully lined jacket, and it's just something really satisfying about making a fully lined jacket. But this was, yeah, a great make, and I just wanted to highlight that brilliant challenge. So I'll link Whitney's video below all about the challenge, and yeah, all the vlogger tour has been just brilliant so far. I've loved seeing everybody's fabric, what's kind of been lingering in their stash and what they're going to make out of it. Whitney, of course, recommends doing a toile first of all before you cut into your precious fabric, which is always a good idea. But yeah, it's just a really, really good challenge. It's hashtag precious fabric 24, and I'll link it all below. So yeah, delighted to have my heather blazer back out again for autumn. So what else did I want to talk to you about? I wanted to let you know about my plans for next week. So if you watched my video last week, and thank you very much to everybody who did, I made my jeans toile. Delighted. The ash jeans from Megan Nielsen in a wonderful collaboration I'm doing with the fabulous Karen Marie, made by Karen Marie over here on YouTube, where we're making jeans. So I've now made my toile. Love them. I've been wearing them all week. Absolutely love them. And I've been, in my brain, I've been planning my next pair, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to alter the rise, poring over blog posts, how do I do all that. My fabric has arrived, it's now drying. I also ordered, with my fabric, I got top stitch needles and more jeans needles because I think the top stitch ones will help me an awful lot. Last of the big spenders in the Crafty studio, I bought 2 spools of top stitching thread. So I was very well behaved, a little too well behaved. So I bought this beautiful colour. So these are my top stitching threads. So the only thing I need now for the jeans is a zip. So, but I think I can get that locally. I think that should be fine. So, and as soon as that fabric is dry, I've already printed out my new pattern because these are slim leg. I'm going to make the skinny version and I'm going to lower the rise. I put on a pair of my other jeans last night, and to kind of measure out how much I want to take off the rise, I think I'm going to take off 1.5 inches. So I'm going to cut my regular size and then cut, I think, about a size 16, 18, I think. For the very top, I'm going to grade ever so slightly and then put on the 16 or 18 waistband and see how that goes. So fingers crossed, thoughts and prayers, but I'm really looking forward to getting started on my, I'm not going to call it my real pair, I'm going to call it my second toile, because I think what I might do is literally cut out just the top, not the full length legs at all, and just test it. Don't do pockets, do no top stitching, nothing, just check for fit first of all before I dive in. So that's what I should be doing this week. If I do get that, oops, as a pencil, if I do get that done, or if I do have some downtime during the week, what I also would like to get started on is a new dress. And this is the Fibre Mood Chloe dress. I'll pop in the line drawings here. Beautiful. Came out during the summer. I love cool construction details and interesting way patterns are put together. And this is kind of almost like a tabard that goes over your head and then wraps around, which I really like the look of. And I have this beautiful fabric for it. This is from Stoffen. It's a viscose linen. But I thought this is still quite autumnal with the browns, and this stripe in the middle is actually navy. So I think even though that is quite a summery dress, I think I could put a Freya top underneath, a roll neck Freya. I could put on a long sleeve Agnes underneath it, and I could get use out of it going into the autumn. I would love to get this dress made up because this is going to be my entry into the hashtag #SoPhisticated challenge that Surrey Sews are running. So I mentioned it a few weeks ago on my Friday Sews. I'll pop in the picture here. So this is all about the Sophisticated event that's happening on the 19th of October in England. However, they're opening up a challenge worldwide that anybody can sew a garment that you would bring to an afternoon tea. So it's not necessarily what you would wear to an afternoon tea, it's what you would bring to an afternoon tea, which opens it up hugely. So I would definitely wear this little dress to an afternoon tea. So I'm going to try and enter this into the challenge. So the reveal date is the 19th of October, so it gives me plenty of time. So this hopefully is going to be ongoing throughout my jeans making. I should mention, sorry, actually, that the jeans has a hashtag as well. It's hashtag sew jeans with us. So anybody who wants to sew jeans alongside us is more than welcome. And I've definitely been seeing some more pop up. So thank you very much. So if you are making jeans in the background and would like to tag in as well, then please do. So this is going to be my Chloe dress. So yeah, really looking forward to getting that done. I think it's a really, really pretty dress. So that is what I am doing this week. So I've now talked about afternoon tea frocktails. I've talked about afternoon tea in the Sophisticated challenge. I'll now move on to the life situation, the life update on Friday Sews. So I've been very lucky that I went to afternoon tea last week. I'm going to afternoon tea again this week. My social life usually is quite, quite stable, quite steady, nothing massive going on. And sometimes I just have loads going on all the time. And for some reason now I've had loads of afternoon teas. So this week I am meeting some lovely buddies and we're going for afternoon tea. And we're also going to go and see Wicked the musical, which is currently in Dublin. And I am beyond excited. So super excited about that. Can't wait to catch up with my buddies and see Wicked again. I've seen it twice. I think I've seen it in London and I've seen it in Dublin, but I can't wait to see it again. It's so much fun. So for my afternoon tea, I was thinking of wearing this blouse, which I think would look really pretty. And then for Wicked, because it's got the green theme, if you're aware of the musical, I'm going to wear my green Serene jumpsuit. The really cool construction one is from Size Me Sewing, with the one that wraps around the waist. I think that would look really, really nice to go out and about in Dublin this week. So they are my plans. So really, really looking forward to that. So that is about everything that I wanted to catch up with. Oh, I'm starting my patchwork class this week. Super excited about that. So I'll figure out what blocks we're doing, what fabric I need to buy for my next quilt, which is really exciting. But that is about it. So thank you as always for joining me. I really do love having these weekly chats with you. I hope you're all well. Please let me know in the comment box below what you're working on, if you have any questions on anything I spoke about today, or if you just generally just want to say hi. You know how much I love having the chats, and I love responding to each and every one of you. If you take the time to watch these videos, I absolutely will respond to everybody. I just love it. I love having the chats, love seeing what you're doing, and love seeing where you're commenting from, because it really is a worldwide community and it is just wonderful. So on that gushing note, I will leave you. If you like this video, I would love it if you'd give a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing. I hope you all have a lovely weekend. I hope you all have a lovely week filled with lovely, lovely sewing, and I will talk to you all again very, very soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.